When driving along the streets in Kuala Lumpur city centre, we tend to see a lot of homeless folks sleeping along the shops and back alleys, you know, the kaki lima and all that. Right. Can you tell us from the perspective of Jabatan Kebajikan Masyarakat, what are some of the reasons for the homeless being left in this state?
It's not that these people, they are being left out, but then this is the situation whereby these homeless, they are in a urban poverty. So according to the study conducted by the UPM, by the ministry, collaborated by UPM in the year 2014. So there are a few reasons why these people are there. So number one is on much of the financial problem, whereby they have not enough money. You know, this is a study conducted by the UPM students. And then other than that, these people, they are being sidelined by the family members. And then some of the element of deception. And some of them are former prisoners and the so-called the surgeon trainers. I mean to say that they are the trainers from the rehab centers. So they are being in the in the state, in the city. And then the reason why they are there, not only on urban poverty, but there are some of the reasons they are there.
A lot of people, you know, have this perception. The public has this perception that because they're laying about in broad daylight, you know, and not out there looking for a job or working some task, that they are lazy, too lazy to get a job. Do you think that this statement is true? Somehow
or other, the statement is quite true, but it does not apply to all the cases. And then in some cases that we have come across, there are some homeless people that having their own job, right? But they choose to sleep by the shop and by the back alleys due to the high cost of living in the city. And then, by the way, when they have a place in the shop and back alleys, so it's another kind of saving of cost.
You think it's a choice for them to, you know, do this as opposed to, you know, trying to find a room somewhere or a shelter in any kind of NGO shelter or halfway home?
That's why when you talk about halfway home or shelter, this is the kind of facilities that are being provided by the ministry and other related department, but they are not to be, you know, they are not really secure. They don't feel like they are free, right? So that's why they are still there.
Okay, so what are some of the biggest challenges faced by JKM when it comes to homelessness?
As it is now, homelessness is not specified under any regulatory, right? So there is no specific provision that we can address the homeless people in Malaysia. So the one that we have is only on the Destitute Person Act 1977. Whereby this act is being vested upon social welfare to provide the care and rehabilitation of the destitute person and for the control of vagrancy. So there's not even mentioned about the homeless people.
Yeah.
So something that is a new problem that we are facing now.
But, you know, I guess intellectually they are one and the same. I mean, if you weren't destitute, you wouldn't be out on the street being homeless, correct?
Right.
So in this instance, what is Jabatan Kebajikan Masyarakat doing to help these people?
The provision under the Destitute Person Act provide our social welfare officer to conduct a rescue operation, right? So whether it be a scheduled one, ad hoc or integrated.
Okay.
So under this rescue operation that we conducted, so we come across so many cases of the vulnerable people. So when I say vulnerable, it consists of this particular group of people: the immigrants, the drug addicts, you know, alcohol addicts, and then the PWDs, and some of them having a mental disorder. So we come across all these things. So you see, as it is now under the provision. So if we come across people who are begging and no place of residence, and then it's a vagrant,
right.
So we will just take these people into custody under the provision under the Destitute Person Act 1977. But before we take them, we put them in a temporary place for us to have a social report provided before we bring them to court.
Bring them where?
To court.
To court.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those who
what happens in court?
So court will order them to be given a care and rehab program under our homes that we have in Malaysia.
Okay, so
Shimin, some of the cases that we come across does not come under this category. So if these people we come across, they are more of a immigrant, so we refer them to the immigration department.
Right.
Or if they are more of a mentally disordered people, so we refer them to the hospital or health department.
Right.
If there were to be anything like addict, we will refer them to the what we call these various agencies like the drug enforcement agency and whatnot. So this is what we do now.
Okay, now Encik Ahmad, moving forward, there are a lot of organizations that help to feed the homeless. In your opinion, are these NGOs helping the homeless or making the situation worse?
As it is now, Shamim, I was understand we have 2 NGOs that provide the meal for the homeless people, right? The Kechara Soup and the Pertiwi. So anyway, we would like to express our big thank you to these NGOs. But somehow or other, the thing they're doing now, I think, will just somehow or other create a self-reliance, for the people with, the homeless people. Because although it's a big help to the homeless people, but then it will not really help in terms of curbing the issues. So sometimes it is more, the situation will create more reliance to the kind of situation that it is now. So in this context, most probably the NGOs of the concerned NGOs, not only the Kechara Soup or Pertiwi, but some other NGOs that provide the protection and care for the homeless people must come forward to help the government.
Now, how can we as Malaysians make a difference to the homelessness issue in this country? How can we help?
As we know that these homeless people, in terms of the self-esteem, is very low. So we got to provide kind of effort just to strengthen the self-esteem. And then most probably some of them, they have a kind of inclination towards, being independent. But there's no support. So let's say if they want to get a proper job, and then they are inclined toward certain things that to their interest. So what kind of skill training that we can provide? So these are the things that we will look into the matter as what a nation should do after this. And then after that, most probably the kind of acceptance from the community also got to be changed, right? So sometimes there is a kind of so-called, a stigma, right?
Yes.
These people, they are very bad. They are cannot mix around with them, especially for the drug addicts. So, but it must also be addressed because these are the people that are on the street right now, right? So it will be a consistent effort, to just address the issue. So it's not only a single-handedly handled by the ministry. It must be at a level whereby everybody comes together.